got to play with respect to his opponents, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do that here today up against Licorice, up against JoseDeodo. That is a duo that does like to focus sometimes up on that top lane. We do have the first pick, Lillia, here, so going to be grabbing themselves an AP jungler. You're immediately expecting that it's going to be a 1 AD solo laner at the very least here. I would like the Gragas. I think Gragas is a strong early pick because of the ability to flex it around. And also I just think it's a really safe pick up in the top lane. Even the bad matchups for Gragas, you usually have enough wave clear that you can actually survive those. You have an incredible amount of sustain with your passive, so does make some sense, and Iconic going to be grabbing another farmer here. Seems to be his comfort zone, and I think Graves, again, is a pretty decent matchup into Lillia.
Yep, he's a big farmer. We did, I believe, if I recall correctly, see AP Gragas support just yesterday from newbie. It didn't turn out into a win, as most of the Golden Guardians games have gone so far, but it is flexible, right? And you can wait till the very, very last pick at the very end of the draft, pick number 10 to figure out if it is going to be tank Gragas top, AP Gragas top, tank your AP Gragas support. We know it's not going to be jungle with the Graves locked in. I'm not expecting Graves mid or top as the solo lane. We did see it before. It wasn't pretty, but I mean, even that's a possible, flexible move. And here we see Senna, Tahm, Kench locked in. So Golden Guardians, do you want to lock in an entire duo lane? Like, do you want to play Gragas X and play some kind of aggressive bot lane down there? Maybe a Yasuo, you go really crazy, or wait for longer. But this would be the time to lock in a counter before the bans come through, or to snag a mid laner before those bans come in either.
Yeah, will be interesting to see where they actually want to go. If you go towards another solo laner, then you could ban out some of the counters coming through, but then you're really, saving your counter pick for your support, generally speaking. Ezreal, I think, is actually pretty reasonable here. I think Ezreal is a lot stronger now that people have really kind of discovered this Essence Reaver Duskblade build. I think it's pretty strong overall. It does allow you to forgo the tier. You can have some mana problems prior to actually completing the Essence Reaver, but you don't really need the tier. You can make it through those early phases, generally with just mana flow ban, presence of mind. Those types of runes do really shore up any issues you have in that regard. And it does feel like if you're playing Ezreal into Senna, Tahm, Kench, then you're probably looking for some type of roaming support. You're probably looking to do something, maybe on the top lane or mid lane, somewhere other than that, because this is definitely not the lane to really punish a Senna, Tahm, Kench. Ezreal plus anything, I just feel like, is not really going to get it done there as far as kill pressure.
Well, Golden Guardian expecting the chance that we might see Marksman mid and maybe, magic damage top lane afterwards, with Tristana getting banned away. Of course, we know Senna TK is bot lane, but yes, Trist mid has been gaining in power. I actually don't think they need the Trist ban. You just pick Syndra and you absolutely smash that lane. Like, Syndra nullifies everything Trist ever wants to do. It's like the second worst matchup in the entire game, second to Yasuo. Yasuo probably doesn't fit this comp, but you just pick one of those champions and you just slap Trist mid. And those champions are completely playable, right? So unless you see those banned out, I don't think you need to ban Trist. Bard comes through, meaning it is going to be Gragas in the top lane, again, unless some funky stuff happens. So Bard, Ezreal going to be the lane. And as we saw earlier today, right, you pick double range, you pick something reasonably aggressive, and you can punish Tahm, Kench farm and maybe force the Senna to play his one last hitting.
Yeah, so with double range, as you say, it may be Senna last inning, but I also really like this because Senna Tahm Kench is a pretty passive lane. It's not a lane that can really set up dives very effectively, so Bard can just roam away from that lane, right? You don't even have to actually play for the 2v2 very heavily. Ezreal is one of the best champions in the game at actually surviving on his own. You can get out of that lane, try to get things done elsewhere. The Yone coming through here, so it is a blind Yone. I wonder if AblazeOlive will be willing to pick something aggressive into this. When I have seen people playing this blind in solo queue, I've seen things like Renekton into it. I've seen things like these aggressive picks mid lane that can really shut him down and make his life pretty difficult. But that would be a fairly all-in pick here. You would be very light on magic damage if you were to go that way. So it doesn't have to happen, but yeah, the blind Yone always feels a little bit bold to me because I do feel like there are some answers.
But if you think the only answers are physical damage, it's not going to fit the comp all that well. Relying on AP Gragas for magic damage is probably not enough, and calls the bluff. It is magic damage to mid lane. It is Azir. We'll see if that's a good answer or not. Last time I saw the matchup, Azir had a lot of lane pressure, was winning in farm, and it ended up looking okay. So AblazeOlive, I'm expecting to do well in the lane overall. The Shen, of course, is what has come through for the top side, knowing that it was 99.9% of the time. Gragas up in the top side. Licorice going to feel comfortable there on Shen, with a Lillia as kind of the only magic damage on FlyQuest side.
Yeah, this was actually the inverse of the matchup that I want to say AblazeOlive played yesterday against Johnsun.
Yeah.
He did get beat down pretty hard. He was down in farm. He was getting pushed in. So now he's on the other side of it. We'll see if he can win the side that Johnsun won on yesterday. Of course, our different players here, but should be pretty interesting. The Shen Yone I actually really like as a combo. Does allow you to really dive in very aggressive. You act as that Shen delivery. You are diving in with the ultimate. It allows you that extra durability with the Stand United shield to actually stay in for more of your E to get out additional attacks, additional autos. You have the Shen there to follow through with the taunt potentially, kill off some of these backliners, people like the Azir, who are normally pretty difficult for a Shen to reach. So it will be pretty exciting. And it does look like it is going to be the fasting Senna, so it will be the farming Tahm Kench here. He has taken teleport, and we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, teleport Tahm Kench is not the most common. You, I think, more frequently see something like Exhaust. I want to call something out that I know we're not going to see this game, Azael, and I know you'll back me up on this one. Serpent's Fang. Serpent's Fang is going to make a lot of sense in this game. Shen has his own shields. He provides shields. Yone's got his own shields. He's going to go for a Bloodthirster, Senna ult, Tahm Kench's entire kit, and Guardian. And Ezreal and Graves can comfortably buy that item second and apply a ton of bonus damage to the shields they're auto-attacking. They already like AD lethality items. I want to see those items picked up, and I know we're not going to see it.
Yeah, it's something that just feels like it almost feels like where we were with Healing Cut a year or two ago, a couple years ago in pro play, where people were really forgoing Executioners and Morellos and things like this, where it really made sense in certain games. And Serpent's Fang is one of those items that I feel like people just don't have a good understanding of, but I tend to agree. I also think it's incredibly good against Seraphine and some of these compositions where you've seen Seraphine and Senna paired up and things like that. The bonus damage on shielding is quite high, can be very powerful, so I agree. It would be pretty cool to see him. Probably also agree that we won't see it, so we'll just have to track that.
I like that AblazeOlive just zoning Palafox, and at some point the man will walk into lane. But he's got the soldiers back up, so here you go. Hey, buddy, you lost a couple hundred health. Shield comes in, and I mean, honestly, he's not going to miss any XP here. Able to get even one of the minions. AblazeOlive just auto-attacking him, non-stop. Decent damage there with his lethal tempo. Cashman is doing a bit to help there as well. And I also want to point out that we are seeing Spell Thieves as the item of choice. Nice double stun right there. Q's going to land on top of it. But it means newbie feels like he's going to be able to play aggressively, lanes the Q, and then just takes 300 damage back from Senna.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. He also got hit by the Tongue Lash there from the Tahm Kench. So you do have to be careful about how you are actually going for these trades. But the Spell Thieves is just about you're playing into this melee champion who has to farm. So every time Tahm Kench steps forward, you should be able to auto him as he is autoing the minions. And it's really going to ramp up your gold generation to get a very quick completion on that support item, to be able to get that bonus 1,000 gold early on in the game when it can hopefully make a pretty big impact for you. So I think it's a smart pick anytime you are playing against these fasting melee lanes. You really can get away with it. And the additional mana regen is also pretty effective because you don't really think you're going to get all in by a Senna TK. It'd be a pretty weird situation to do it. So having the extra mana regen for a Bard to just drop W on cooldown for those little health shrines is going to allow you to heal through a lot of these trades.
Nice little play by Licorice. Pulls aggro, of course, thanks to Taunt. Niles is always going to auto him, which is going to pull minion aggro. And hey, 2 stacked waves put in some damage, and you get an extra 50 to 100 damage on your trade, which is going to feel good, even though Niles does eventually body slam and walk away. Palafox down to half health, so AblazeOlive is punishing this one so far. JoseDeodo going through his jungle clear. So far, pacing faster than Iconic. Going to get 6 camps done by maybe 3:24 or so, and then just grab the scuttle that no one's going to contest topside.
Yep, and thus far, it's usually when you're playing a tank into Gragas, or really honestly a lot of matchups into Gragas, it's less about killing the Gragas and more about how much farm can you make him miss. Because his passive is just so hard to actually whittle him down with. You just press W on cooldown on Gragas, it costs very little mana, you get the health back, you're probably not going to die. But because of the nature of your abilities, they are all AoE, so sometimes you're actually last hitting with a barrel or something and it can kind of mess you up a fair bit. It can force you into these weird situations, but Iconic here for a potential counter gank.
Yeah, calls it off though. AblazeOlive says, I don't have the mana, I don't have the cooldowns. W and E are both down. I can't get it. Even though they could have tried to camp the tether of Palafox, it's just not enough. JoseDeodo pushes them out. So junglers still pretty close in farm overall. You can see it right 30 to 27, not too bad. But as the camps are coming back up, JoseDeodo, who went for, I believe, the chicken first clear, already has that backup to go for. And just getting the stacks going yet again.
One thing I will say is because Johnsun and Diamond, you know, are playing this fasting Senna, and, you know, Diamond knew he was going to take some damage, so he went Door and Shield, but his mana is actually getting taxed pretty heavily, right? And we see a lot of people, when they are playing this setup, actually go for a Doran's Ring. He didn't feel like he could because it is double ranged, but you can actually attack his mana sometimes more than his health in these types of situations. If you can actually force him to last hit with the Tongue Lash or utilizing the W, could be a situation that would be advantageous to them, but thus far it feels like FlyQuest doing well in this 2v2. It should be a bit of additional farm going the way of Golden Guardians as they do collect this wave, but overall I think things going pretty well.
Oh. Yeah, interesting. Ooh, yeah. I mean, decent damage right there, obviously, as Palafox takes some shots into AblazeOlive underneath the turret. One thing I'm going to find interesting is exactly how much gold Newbie can earn compared to Johnsun, since they're both doing the exact same thing, right? Trying to farm Spell Thief's functional gold. It looks like about a 200 gold lead to Johnsun right now, 1 to 200, so he's actually been doing better overall. Okay, he's poached, you know, 1 or 2 more CS, but still has more happening for his side. First recalls come through, and the teleport being used, right? Grabs the Bomby Cinder, teleports back up, and now Niles, who is has a lane frozen in front of him. And again, JoseDeodo just swept that ward. Niles knows JoseDeodo is here. Without Iconic showing up, he is not allowed to go for the minion. That is literally illegal. The weak side police will stop you. And until Iconic shows up, he has to let this freeze, or he risks dying to Lillia.
I mean, you risk dying just 1v1 to Licorice at this point. You are really in a dicey spot. So he's going to do the smarter thing. He's going to wait back, and with the TP coming in, it's still awkward. You just have to base, and this is something where it does feel like a little bit of inexperience, where you so badly don't want to leave the wave messed up, but the next wave is coming. You were never going to get it into the tower before that actually happens, and now Licorice potentially could chase him down a bit here, but is getting a little bit of damage down on Licorice post-Licorice TPing back, but Niles could actually...
Is he just dead? Yeah. Is Niles just dead? I think Niles is just dead. Niles, you're still dead. I'm pretty sure next time Tahm is up, yeah, there's Q Flash, and Niles, you could have went back to base, bud. This was a heads-up one-on-one. Junglers were not involved in this one. You just chose to die. When your TP was up, you could have had full mana, some items, and come back to lane.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's the thing, is it's like you can wait out the Lillia. You know the Lillia is likely going to go back into the jungle. It's not going to wait around that long. So if he goes into the brush and he just bases, then TP's back on the wave, and you can reset it because you have full mana, you have full health, he can't just all in you. But you're staying around when you have no mana. Licorice already has a buy. He got the Merc Tread, so he can potentially chase you down here, and he has no mana cost, so he does just that. And a really foolish death there from Niles, punished pretty heavily on that one. And this is a matchup that we'll see if Licorice can continue to exploit Niles. So here it is one more time. He just doesn't have the mana, right? And he so badly wants to reset the wave. That is why he's staying here. He hits 6. He's like, okay, I can go. Licorice is probably base. Lillia is probably left. But Licorice just TPs in on the cannon. The next wave is coming, so he was never going to be able to reset it. This is even worse. The fact that he stayed around after that, but we know.
Ooh, shuffles him in, though. Big damage. The turret shot's going to land for a bit more. Palafox down to 300 health. Ultimately, it is an ult for, you know, a forced recall here. But with the TP up for Yone, he's probably going to be all right.
Yeah, they are going to definitely force the TP because the instant reset comes, and Palafox actually deciding to just stick it around. Niles, again, here back up in that top side, trying to push in. Newbie really hasn't been able to get out of lane just yet on the Bard, but looking for something potentially here now.
A little bit of damage. Thanks for the 60 gold. Yep, both halves of the auto work pretty much instantly. The meep counts as 20 gold income as well, so... You've got a 10 CS lead for the farming members. No one is surprised here that Ezreal has been able to do more than Tahm Kench. A little bit unknown right now in terms of the brush. We don't, they don't know for sure if Senna's getting the recall off. She is going Noon Quiver, by the way. So once again, a Kraken Slayer build for the Senna. And as just the camps keep going down, JoseDeodo farming equally to Iconic. Neither one has really gotten a gank off just yet. They've had some looks, but nothing really happening. But Iconic, yeah, nice. He's down a camp and a half in CS, but he's going to get first dragon of the game.
And Senna is just going to go up topside. So they're going to send Johnsun up topside to help with the Rift Herald, and that's what they're going to do to secure that. They actually just left Tahm Kench down bot side to collect that himself. And it should just be probably a trade of these objectives. I don't think that Golden Guardians will get over here fast enough to try to contest, but Iconic is making a move.
Looking at some damage here. Palafox goes right back in, gets the knockup dash. Pretty big damage across, but now the flash play. Newbie finds the stun. The ults keep layering over the top. Beautifully done. A kill on the board for Golden Guardians. That said, Herald was already claimed by FlyQuest, and that's going to be just as much gold going back when it's summoned. And Niles cannot go back into top lane. The jungler top already there. Sleep comes across into 2 as a swirl seed hit 1. Explosive Cask is going to miss, and Niles, your days are numbered. And that's going to be death number 2. Taunt is beautiful from Licorice, and a double kill for JoseDeodo.
So well played there on the back end. Both of these stars coming up big. Newbie and JoseDeodo making plays for their team. We got to watch the video about them and battling back and forth here, getting kills for their team, but a lot of credit deserved by Licorice on that play. So much patience to actually hold the taunt, to not waste that taunt early, to then have it for the second kill. This sleep was great. As Palafox snaps back, though, Newbie flashes in, Ignite, lands the Q. They kill him off before he can get over the wall. But then this sleep was actually really, really nice from JoseDeodo. They recognize Niles is just walking a very dangerous way. So not only does he hit the Q there, the bowling ball had actually connected with the Graves on the other side. So they have both of them slept up. And this is what I think is really smart from Licorice. He didn't actually just taunt Niles. He knew he didn't have any real way out. He had already used the body slam. He had already used the ultimate, so he has no escapes. You don't need to waste the taunt. And he's able to hold it and find the taunt flash onto Iconic after to grab them a second kill.
Yeah, 60 more gold over to Newbie as Palafox takes a bit of damage. Mid laners fairly close in health, but obviously a kill for Azir is nice. The farm lead about 20 is also pretty outstanding. And look at the game state overall. 1,100 gold. +1 Dragon for Golden Guardians. To me, I favor FlyQuest just based on the scoreboard. You can see JoseDeodo is obviously rich with his 2 kills. Zhonya's Hourglass already done. Again, I'm expecting him to go AP just because they don't have much more magic damage on the team. But if he thinks he can win by playing more supportive and grinding out and just going Moonstaff anyway, there's at least logic to the fact that, well, I'm just going to support and don't worry, Yone is going to carry us.
Yeah, and I mean, they have sustain with Senna as well, so maybe they think they can hit a certain point where that gets really strong. Sleep set up here.
There's Sleep, flash to get away from the rest of the crowd control. I'm not sure he's I guess his ult was down, so he really couldn't have made anything happen otherwise, since they can just lock him up in a turret and he can't push him away, so that is now flashed down for the play. Nicely done, of course, by JoseDeodo. Now looking for the play in the bottom side. Diamond walking up pretty far aggressively. Yeah, some damage towards Stixxay. And now that Newbie had already burned through all his stacks, there's not much more gold to earn. Palafox going to go for some damage into AblazeOlive, so he'll just come around. And, well, the health bar is still going a bit lower. No Sleep, but Iconic waiting in the brush. AblazeOlive wanted to bait him in. They're not going to find the play, though.
Not going to be able to find the play. Palafox been pretty aggressive, with that E, finding a lot of trades here. He has gone for the Q-Max again, as you were talking about last game. The idea that you can just go a couple points in Q and then start maxing that E for additional trading, the cooldown, the amp on the damage from the snapback there, getting much more effective as you get the additional levels into that E. But in LCS play, it seems like people are just prioritizing the Q for the cooldown and additional wave clear here.
Yeah, well, knock up, and that comes across. Yeah, some damage at least going through. We look back at the top side there. Niles able to body slam for some CS, but nursing a 30 CS deficit, and obviously the 2-ish kill difference, obviously pretty good as well. Is FlyQuest waiting for the next, the first big Shen play. I don't believe we've seen Standard United yet in this game, unless it was to somehow join the Herald fight that I don't believe happened. And I summon down here. It's just going to give the gold over, half to Johnsun and half to JoseDeodo. He can recall in the brush. He'll get 160 himself. And they're not going for the turret just yet, but it is going to get pretty low, and they may return to the scene of the crime in a little bit and try to knock it all the way down.
Yeah, thus far, it feels like they've been pretty happy to just play at this pace. Palafox is getting his farm. The bot lane is stacking up on that Senna, and Licorice has been winning the 1v1, but it's still nice to be able to see those proactive plays happen. It pretty much has to be between Palafox and Licorice, unless they're going for those defensive ultimates if someone's getting dove in onto, because they don't really have a lot of good ways to actually deliver the Shen backline besides something kind of atypical. Like if you want to ult your Tahm Kench in, sure, then you could stand united onto Tahm Kench like that. But generally speaking, I think it's going to be about the pairing between Palafox and Licorice. They have pretty good side laning here, where especially as the game progresses, if Azir is stuck out in the side lane and Palafox goes in onto him for an all-in and Shen is on top of that with the Stand United, that becomes incredibly dangerous for AblazeOlive. He'll have to have someone there to back him up.
Well, right now, they've not been able to find themselves any kills. Ooh. No, so close. Almost gets the red steal. JoseDeodo, I think, had to actually claim it because he was afraid of the Ezreal coming across and taken.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I was just afraid of the steal.
Yeah, no one's even on your screen, you can see them all in their lanes. Like, oh, I had to smite that. Sorry, bro. Can't give you this.
Yeah.
Give you next one.
There might have been a Teemo stream. I don't know, man. Look, I just had to make it happen. But Dragon 2 comes across. So Golden Guardians, the gold lead has been growing at a slower pace, I suppose. It's now more like 1,700 apart. But Dragon number 2 has come across. Turret plates have fallen. No turret has died just yet, but they are getting whittled down slowly but surely. Mostly the bot lane's been doing so. 129 to 122 in farm, not exactly heavily Ezreal favorite anymore. Maybe he scales better than Tahm Kench does, but I mean, Senna is certainly pretty rich as well, so nothing too negative there. Golden Guardians just, I guess, just chilling out, kind of waiting around, and I mean, they're dragon stacking as we go towards Mountain Rift, which, hey, you can't really hate on the tankiness.
They are just stacking it up, and I think we're going to see FlyQuest begin to contest at this next dragon. I think number 3, if you're playing for the gold lead and your opponents are playing for the dragon stacking, that's where you really want to make your stand. You don't want to risk giving over that soul point where then one mistake. Oh, nice play here.
Forces the flash, Sent over the top, though, into the rest of the ultimates. AblazeOlive, you forgot about Shen. That would have been enough all the same. Goes for the big play and gets nothing for his reward.
Oh, that was almost really sick there from AblazeOlive, but as you said, the Senna ultimate was fast there from Johnsun, and then the Stand United comes through. It did get interrupted by Niles, but it just doesn't matter because the shielding does arrive, and he didn't have the damage to turn it around. Palafox landing the ultimate onto AblazeOlive under the tower. Takes so much damage there and does end up going down.
Stixxay gets to kill a ward. The Herald gets to reset off the team roaming around, but guess what? Diamond is unanswered in bot lane. Just Tahm Kench just knocks down the, I'm gonna say honestly, devours that turret down there in the bottom lane, and now Iconic's in danger. He's sleeping. Newbie puts down a little magical journey, but it's not gonna matter for anything. Iconic goes down. He is claimed. Stixxay is on the way out, and another flash forces. Newbie has to retreat. Did have his ulti available, never had a good chance to use it. I'm not sure if he could have really stopped anyone, but end of the day, it is 5 kills to 1 in FlyQuest's favor, and Golden Guardians, aside from the dragons they've picked up, which may not amount to anything, have not gotten anything done.
Yeah, the problem is just going to be, can they win those next fights around the dragon? Because if you can't win the next dragon fights, you're never going to really get towards the soul, and that's where it starts to become more valuable. Potential pick here on a Tahm Kench, but he is tanky.
They find the stun, they find the Ezreal. The shuffle's going to put him back into the turret, same for Palafox, and they will find a single kill as the Yone goes back to his point of origin. So that is a good setup. That is Newbie finally getting the second kill on the board. All of them have been off of him. He has been the one originating every single piece of the scoreboard that Golden Guardians have.
And that was great follow-up as well from AblazeOlive, finding the ultimate onto Diamond after he had flashed out, scooping him back into the turret. The last of the minions die off, so the tower goes onto him as well. Pretty big to have both the kills, not only set up by Newbie, but going over to AblazeOlive, who will have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, it feels like. A pretty beefy front line here on the side of FlyQuest between the Shen and the Tahm Kench farming it up. You're going to need really high DPS from this Azir to be able to get through that front line.
Well, he's going to try his best. Obviously, he is where my eyes are. He's going to be the one doing the major carrying. At least Ezreal's still farming as well. Essence Reaper is in the build you expected to see here. Pretty quick Mythic comes through for Diamond. Of course, you expect for the farming Tahm Kench. He's got his Frostfire online pretty quickly. It's one of the cheaper Mythics, and he's getting regular lane income, right? He's got the same kind of CS as his solos have, so he's ready to go on the front line here. Going to knock down some wards himself, and wait for the rest of the lane assignments. You're seeing AblazeOlive go bot lane up against Palafox. Top laners still where they are, but Licorice with Stand United back available is probably going to be more effective on the map.
I will say it's interesting that Johnsun hasn't started picking up the farm. A lot of times when I do see these setups, people have the Senna just playing support role essentially until they complete their support item, and then they start picking up CS to continue getting that gold injection, because you still do want to have gold coming in for this Senna. It really does slow down a lot for supports as soon as you have cashed out on that support item, because that's where you're getting most of your gold if you're not fighting constantly and getting those kills. So it feels like they're prioritizing the soul income more than the gold income here, but it will mean that it's going to be a very late Rage Blade coming through for him.
Yeah, in terms of pure stat efficiency, even before the souls were buffed, it was actually correct. Oh, hold on. JoseDeodo going to get ulted, but there's not going to be an easy stun. Maybe the shuffle is going to flash over the play. He's going to bring Shen and put Zhonya's down, so it's time to run away. And Licorice going to dive right in, shuffle backwards, but the sleep still going to go across. And Yone over the top means 2 kills. Now Niles, he's too late to the party. The ult is going to mean nothing. It's going to be 3 unanswered kills for FlyQuest.
Nicely done by FlyQuest. That was a great turn from JoseDeodo. Flashes in as Golden Guardians think they've caught him, but he flashes in, lands the Q, goes straight into the Zhonyas to make sure there's no opportunity for them to burst him down, buys time for Shen to arrive with the Stand United, and the dot is still going to be burning, so he can actually sleep them after this. And this is everyone stacking up for this. So he flashes in, 3-man Q there, actually just barely missing Stixxay, excuse me. So the 2-man sleep coming through, and Licorice arriving, Palafox arriving, the ult layered with the taunt to be able to follow that up. They kill off Niles as he tries to retreat after that, and they're going to be able to grab a dragon here off screen and put an end to Golden Guardian's dragon stacking.
Alrighty, Dragon claimed the gold lead nearly 6,000. This is so much FlyQuest, and yeah, AblazeOlive needed to be the damage champion. He could not be at 53 damage. He mostly just hit Licorice's shield. That is a rough look, but JoseDeodo, top of the charts for his team. Stixxay, yeah, he wasn't part of the sleep, so he got some damage out, but it wasn't enough with no support. And it is now almost out of reach, I would say, for Golden Guardians.
It's feeling really rough when you're looking at team compositions, when you're realizing that, all right, well, FlyQuest actually have the side lane advantage right now. It feels like they have the 5v5 advantage because they have such a big gold lead as well. It's tough for Golden Guardians then to find ways to really get much done. It's got to be an engage from Niles. It's got to be an engage from newbie. Those are the playmakers now on the team, and a lot of the onus is going to be on them when you've fallen this far behind, because straight up front-to-back team fighting from Ezreal and the Graves from the Azir is not going to do it when you're at this sort of a deficit.
And Niles running away. One level down. Oh, couldn't have enough time. Couldn't quick get the last auto attack off. Oh well. It is going to be shield bow, by the way, so even more reason to go into the shield breaker.
Serpent's
Fang.
Fang.
Going to see it, but yep, Serpent's Fang. I said it during the pregame or like during level 1, then I forgot afterwards, but all the more reason to try to break some shields down here. Not the case just yet, though. We'll see if it moves around, but Palafox, entirely unanswered top lane. Golden Guardian's going to give that turret away, and they're going to make a play elsewhere. Diamond going to be slowed. He's going to have the barrel coming across, but guess what? No big plays. A sleep on a one member is not going to be much more. JoseDeodo going to go for a smite, go for a Q, force the flash out of newbie. And in an outright 4v3, absolutely nothing is done. It's actually newbie has to flash away. Golden Guardians can't even outnumber their opponents to get anything done.
And he was pretty lucky. Johnsun was a couple seconds off having his ultimate, which I think would have been enough damage to actually kill newbie, because his flash was late. He did get hit by JoseDeodo's Q before actually getting that flash off there. So Johnsun, a couple more seconds, probably would have been able to finish that off. But either way, FlyQuest feels like they are in full control. 1-3-1 here. JoseDeodo on this Lillia roaming back and forth between mid lane and these side lanes. And Diamond plus Johnsun are just such a safe duo here that it feels very difficult to actually attack.
Well, Niles going to try to get away again. Explosive cast to fully disengage. He was in a bit of a 1v3, but now has to jump the rest of the way out. His health bar is low, and now the re-engage comes across, and he's just dead under turret anyway. Didn't walk away in time. And once again, an isolated death for Niles, his third of the game. And this is going to be at least a turret traded back, but a kill plus top lane tier 2 is so much more.
It's the inhibitor turret as well. It's looking like here as they continue the push. We'll see how much the Ezreal ulti can clear out. Maybe going to be able to keep that alive now as the cannon did go down. The tower does get low though, and Shen is still pushing bot side. They'll be able to retreat on the top side. So again, as you say, Niles had a decent disengage with his ultimate there. Had the ability to actually walk away, but trying to greed for the farm, trying to protect that tower when he was not in a position to do so. The rest of his team, all four are mid lane, and he's playing this weak side position. You've got to recognize that. You've got to be willing to give it up and try to find another opportunity to fight.
Nice safe recall for Diamond. Big farm for him, moving towards his Force of Nature being done. He's ready to take the front line. Notice he's even itemizing towards MR. He's like, yeah, I really still only care about AblazeOlive. Obviously, the boost speed, certainly nice. It's part of Tahm Kench. He can really only walk at you. Sadly, you know, that rolling DLC hasn't come across just yet, but, you know, maybe one day. But Golden Guardians, they can fight for wards. It's the one things they do have the ability to kill. Those don't run away or get healed realistically, but they've just sadly had to give away so much of this map. 1 minute away from the dragon. If Golden Guardians claim it, it would be their third. They would be able to at least move closer to that dragon soul that would, you know, come close to coming back into this one. Otherwise, the attempted steal is maybe the possibility if Baron is put up on the table.
And it is worth checking in. JoseDeodo going for the build that you wanted. He is a very heavy AP build, even has Mage Eyes, 10 stacks on that, so he does have the bonus 10% move speed in addition to all that
chance
he already has.
Nice nom there by Diamond, though. Was in a spot where it wouldn't be a double stun from the Bard Q, and chomps him out after the Q slow comes across. So well played by Diamond. Yeah, ultimately maybe an Azir shuffle was what was required to make that work out at all. Maybe a bit more aggression. Maybe he wasn't in range. I don't quite remember. But ultimately, the ulti doesn't mean anything from newbie, as the answers are there.
No one's responding to Palafox. They're not even, Graves was up there, didn't even elect to try to defend the turret. Still no one is actually coming back here. Palafox does have TP, so if they answer, he can just back off and then try to look for a TP towards the dragon, but he just wants to kill Niles.
Okay, big damage already. Yep, the mark is on, puts a bit more. Nice, and yeah, he's down to about 40%. Chugs some and walks away. This inhibitor is really not even defended at this point. The gold difference is just far too large. I mean, he's got 90 CS in the guy, right? It's an easy one here. Azir turret in the mid lane. Bit of damage towards Stixxay, burning down, loses a couple hundred health. They will still clear the wave. They will keep mid in equilibrium, at least for now, but the dragon's alive, and Golden Guardians are not even willing to look at it. Miracle Steal, not gonna happen. It was just a little bit too late, or sorry, too early. Diamond walking back, almost stunned, but not able to walk away. And okay, Dragon scores are tied. Double Mountain Drake and Golden Guardians, they got a Scuttle Crab for the reference, nothing else.
Yeah, the Stand United coming. They want to turn here.
And they're going to find it. They're going to find so much damage. Iconic gets deleted, and AblazeOlive could be next. Diamond is here. JoseDeodo is here. Goodbye. It's 2 kills for nothing. Golden Guardians once again on the run. They just don't have the gold to fight for their own side of the map. FlyQuest show up in numbers, and it's time to close the game out with a push through top.
We'll see if they want to try to commit to ending here. It looks like they do for now, and Niles has not yet begun the base. There's not that many minions, so maybe Stixxay could try to clear this out. But looks like they're going to commit to it.
5 versus 3. Ezreal comes across. Decent damage, hits 1 or 2 members. But the first turret's going to drop in a second. Johnsun can't get the last shot. Nice little hit right there. But again, it's 5v3. You can't engage. Flash Q. They're going to find the 3-man sleep. The taunt out of the top laner. Goodbye to one of them. Newbie going to walk away, stay alive. But as the respawns come through, the siege ends as a 5v4 is a bit too rich for their blood. FlyQuest come away with an inhibitor turret, an extra kill, and the top inhib gone. Next is
JoseDeodo is popping off this game. Another 3-man sleep there, getting them a kill and the Nexus turret, as you said. Here it is one more time. Golden Guardians trying to find some sort of counterpunch, trying to find a way in here. As AblazeOlive, though, comes over the wall, Palafox just calls for the Stand United, can go straight in, knowing that Azir does not have the E. Graves trying to ult in retreat there, but Licorice lands the 2-man taunt. Palafox flashes over the wall, and despite the nicely timed Zhonya's there from AblazeOlive, he was always slated to go down. They had stacked up on him. There was no way out. And FlyQuest now so far ahead, closing in on a 10,000 gold lead. Double Mountain Dragon to their name, with 2 people stacking a lot of those resistances in the farming Tahm Kench, as well as this Shen. And it feels like everything is fully in their control. Not much really going on here for Golden Guardians. It's still just waiting, hoping that Niles or Newbie can find some sort of miracle pick off of which they can turn the game around.
You could give them a couple of tricks. You could give them the Baron. They'd still be so far behind. But, if they can make enough things happen in a row, comebacks are possible, even off of really absurd situations. 2 hits in the Ezreal ulti. A root lasts forever on a Niles up there, honestly. He just sat there for a while. Ulti on the 2 from Newbie. Shuffle back towards Tahm Kench. Gets over the wall. They're trying to chase him down. And they still can't find a single kill. But instantly, Stixxay has been deleted. There's a second kill as well. Licorice finds one of the Niles. And Golden Guardians are once again on the retreat. They at least tried. But the tanks are just too tanky. Away he goes. And I stun for Newbie. AblazeOlive may, in fact, live. Oh, but that's where he's going to land. He is running out of health, and he is gone. Nice pickup there again. 15-2 on the scoreboard. FlyQuest will improve to 3-5. They will get the chase down here onto Iconic. He is almost certainly going to die. Sidesteps onto the fountain. Palafox finds the kill. Newbie just walks in to say that, hey, where'd my team go? I'm back. And the game is going to end. 28 minutes and change. FlyQuest absolutely demolish Golden Guardians.
Big win there for FlyQuest, something they could be really happy about. Playing better, it felt like, across the board. Full control through that one. The Shen plus Yone combo coming up big in multiple team fights down the stretch, and Licorice really showing how strong of a top laner he is, getting the solo kill early, finding lots of cross-map plays with that combo, and really showing up big in the team fights. JoseDeodo as well found so many good engages, found so many opportunities where he was able to find these multi-man sleeps, hitting a Q on one member while throwing the Swirl Seed to tag another for the two-man ulti over by the Rift Herald, then the turn when they thought they had caught him, the flash Q in to get another two-man sleep, the three-man sleep over by the Nexus. He really was on point this game, and FlyQuest have a win under their belts here, something to build upon. You know, as you said, one more game here in their first half of the schedule. They could maybe get to 4 wins if they can take down Immortals, and from there, playoffs is approachable. That is something that you can attain.
Yeah, so that's going to be the look for them is, okay, FlyQuest, it was, a fairly rough start. Obviously, they played through part of Lock without their full roster. That looked tough, so they're one of the last teams to start practicing with all 5 members, and I am expecting 4 out of 5 in the first round robin. 4 to 5 in the first round robin, that is a respectable scoreline, one you can easily improve upon, and one where it's in your hands to then make playoffs and just keep that push towards MSI or towards Worlds, see how deep you can go. So I think there is certainly plenty of light in this tunnel for FlyQuest. They can keep on going. On the Golden Guardian side, I am honestly sad by how little improvement I am seeing out of Niles. I know he is a rookie. I know he never even played in Academy. I know it's really tough, but whether he's strong side or weak side, he just doesn't seem to know where the junglers are, and he gets caught out a lot. I want to see if that can improve over time. This is the point of a development roster, obviously, is to get that improvement. I just want to see it a little bit faster because the same mistakes are what's happening. Now, that's it for myself and Azael, but after the break, we hear from JoseDeodo and the Tigers in the Verizon postgame interview, so don't go anywhere.